Hello there. Welcome to another talk. This is part 4 of another talk, another meditation. Because all my talks are meditations, I always say that. And today's talk is a fourth part of a 5-part series. It was originally going to be 3 parts, then the other day when I was doing the third one, I just said on the talk that I was going to do a 4th and 5th part of spirit/soul walking. And there's not a lot of people that talk about this. I've only found a couple on the internet that actually speak about this. Twin flame is, that kind of thing is big. Twin flame thing is big. Ascension. Spiritual awakening. But spirit soul walking, and when people hear it, it probably sounds a little bit demonic. Walking into you, it's like controlling your body. But it's not how it sounds. It's more like you've got the Karate Kid and you've got Mr. Miyagi. And in some situations, the ideal situation for the spirit is to find someone who's almost like an extension of them, to find someone with the same core baseline frequencies as them. So it's like a twin soul. And the spirit walking is happening to especially what people call the chosen ones. Now the chosen ones, this whole chosen one thing, nearly every Steve and his brother and his sister is calling themselves chosen ones these days. But they do exist, but not as many as what you'd think. The chosen ones is those people all around the planet. It started really happening in 2012, though it did happen before that as well. But in 2012, the energy changed and more divine energy, and the chosen ones are those people that started having these unexpected spiritual awakenings. And they didn't ask for it, they didn't look they didn't read any books in it, they didn't know anything about it. That's what the chosen ones are, right? And these people work with spirit. It's different to a medium. A medium gets messages and delivers messages, but a spirit walking is when a spirit is working with you one-on-one. They're working with you one-on-one, and this is when you hear real chosen ones. I mean, there's not a lot of people in the world that have had, when you think about it, that are going to have unexpected spiritual awakenings out of nowhere. They did nothing to get it, didn't know anything about it. That's the chosen ones. And on the other side, the afterlife, there are advisors, and the chosen ones, the real chosen ones, are known. And when you watch a YouTube video of a chosen one that's went through this awakening, they might say something like, "Oh, the Holy Spirit says," it's not actually the Holy Spirit, it's actually a deceased person, which actually has a lot of knowledge, which wants to work with you. But the way it works is, you first get the big awakening. Like for me, at my awakening, I had a massive rebirth. Literally, was taken back to the womb before I was born. My consciousness was, and what I went through was a massive inner healing pathway. And this spirit walking thing started at the start of the awakening, but there was so much going on. And so what happens? One spirit works with you so far. Then another spirit comes along, and they're just guiding you, taking you up to a certain level, then another one takes over. And then eventually you realise that they never actually left you. It's just that they had to like step aside, let the other guy take over, or woman, for a little while. I'm trying to think of a good example. It's probably a bit like a MMA fighter or a boxer. You know, they've got their trainer, they've got their manager, they've got their coaches. That's probably a good metaphor for what I'm talking about. And the ones that worked years ago, it seems like they've stepped aside, but not really. They're just waiting until you're at a certain level so they can start working with you again. Because you are a project. The chosen ones are projects, and the people on the other side are working with these projects, including celebrities. Because in the spirit world, there is no, it's not like in this world. There's like celebrities and stuff. It's a different kind of reality, so they don't go by that. And so spirits will take you so far, and then other spirit, but like I've said, it's not like mediumship where mediums are given messages. A spirit walking is, some spirits will come and go, but you get other ones that, like, if it's one where it's like a twin soul situation, then they will work with you one-on-one. You know, it's like I mentioned this in recent talks that a few weeks ago I watched a video on YouTube with a music journalist, and I thought to myself, that's John Lennon speaking. I just knew it was John Lennon. So obviously, and John Lennon obviously has chosen to work with this music journalist, and I think I might be the only one to point to actually know what was going on, but I just knew it was that spirit. And so what would have happened in that situation? John, that spirit would have been working with that person and developing that person. And I feel like in that kind of situation, that's more like a twin soul situation where the person is basically like them reincarnated. And so the whole point is to develop them. That spirit might see flaws in you that existed in him or her when they were alive. And so they want to steer you away from that. They don't want you to make the same mistakes. And in essence, they're getting to live again. In a very intimate way. It's even more intimate sometimes than having a child, because having a child, sometimes that child might not be really like you. But in this situation it is. But like I say, there are some spirits that actually don't work on as hand and, one-on-one like that. And some do. And some that do work one-on-one, they'll have other people where they're not one-on-one. The one-on-one situation where it's really intimate is people that they really resonate with. It's a bit like if you go for a tarot card reader, you'll go with someone who you really click with. And yes, and this spirit walking thing is happening to the chosen ones. And that's what's happening. And so it's, and like I say, it's not the Holy Spirit. It's a deceased person who's got some knowledge, and the chosen ones are known. Chosen ones are known. And also, and this is important for the awakening that's happening, because the whole idea is to have a mergence between the physical world and the spiritual world. That's what this is all leading to. And the people that are ascending now, they will be like the leaders and leaders of the new earth. And so this spirit walking thing is a big part of it. And like I say, it sounds like demonic when you say spirit soul walking. But like I say, it's more like, spirits working with you and developing you. And if you're going through an awakening, sometimes it's a situation where, and this can happen quite a lot, where you're teaching them also. You know, that's the ideal situation for you and the spirit, is that you're both teaching each other things. You know, that's perfect. And when a spirit's found that, what will happen is that spirit will then not be attached to that person, but it'll be like a relationship where you're learning things from him or her, and him or her is developing from you. And that's why when you see videos on YouTube with people that have had these awakenings, and they're doing talks, and then they get new knowledge, that it's called a download, but it's coming from spirits. That's where it's coming from. And that's what everything is. It's just spirit, consciousness, awareness, imaginary. It's not real. It's not really real, you know. Everything's basically just awareness, and it's infinite and limitless, and it's interacting with itself because there's only one infinite self. And so basically all life is just different elements of the same one infinite life. But I'm not going to dive into that just now. You know, and ultimately, you know, the spirit walking thing is related to what I'm just saying there, because it's about ascending your consciousness. And as I've said, you know, all through this part series, that this was one of the first things that was happening in my unexpected spiritual awakening, was all about the spirit soul walking thing. I was getting knowledge at a time, but two people like occupying the same life. This was at the start, but there was so much going on that I couldn't really digest that information. You know, it took me 10 years now. And as I've said, that, you know, there's not a lot of people that talk about the spirit soul walking. Not a lot of people. It's the same with, you know, soul swap. That's not exactly, you know, what I'm talking about, but there is a theory out there. People say, you know, have these people that have had awakens had soul swaps? No. What's happened is they've evolved, so they're not that person anymore. Because, you know, as you awaken and as you ascend, you realise that who you were was just a character. It's not who you are anymore. And so in awakening, you're going to be ascending very quickly. Number one, because you're doing the inner healing. And as you ascend, you're getting higher guidance from other spirits. And as I've said before, and you know, one will enter. It seems like they're leaving, but they're all working with you. Eventually, you know, symbolic of it, eventually would be like a situation where, imagine a whole room is filled up with spirits helping you. And it's really an operation. And that's what it is. It's a spiritual operation from the other side. And it's about raising the consciousness of the planet. To be in the kingdom of heaven. And that's basically what the new earth is. The new earth is the kingdom of heaven. And these spirits that are doing these spirit soul walk-ins, it's a big part of it. It's all about returning us to who we truly are. And I think I'm just going to leave it there. I'm going to do a last part of this. And for all the parts of this series, you can go to the bottom of my website categories. I've got a part series page. And all new talks are always located at the top of my homepage at www.lovelightfamily.com. Thank you.